Episode number 364.
People need to be focused on, a precious metal coin may be good and may have kind of some long legs to it, but you're not going to use that at the grocery store. What's going to help you is more money in your pocket every month. And there's only so many hours in the day, so some of that money has to be passive.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, you know your boy is always fired up, ready to bring you a little fuego in your day, nights, weekends, or whenever you are listening to the show today. But most importantly, I think after this show, you're going to think about your legacy, your income, and maybe those ways you can make some passive income, meaning money that pays you, and you do not have to put an extra hour in, an extra, start another business. You got to work another 40 hours, So a lot of times entrepreneurs think it's easy, but it's not. But my man, Martin Saenz. Martin, are you ready to be real?
Absolutely, 100%.
Let's go. And just so you guys know more about Martin and what they're doing at the Bequest Funds, he's been basically helping you guys manage, like I said, your legacy, but using social good into smart investing. And he's the managing partner at Bequest Funds. And now, obviously, more than ever, we know and hear about, obviously managing our money, learning about our money. And if you haven't, obviously, now's the time to kind of perk your ears up, because there's ways, basically, like we were talking right before the show, to basically put a single investment in and then receive passive income for the rest of your life as a business owner, an entrepreneur. Sometimes I know one of the best things I ever did, Martin, was get a little bit of money outside my business into investment securities, some other types of businesses, because that way they're not correlated. Sports cards, Tony Romo is not correlated to someone needing social media services. And so, those are just how I've done it, but I love what you're doing. And so tell me and take me back into time. Were you always interested in finances? Were you always interested in kind of money and investing, things like that?
Yeah, 100%. And, like you flashed the Tony Romo card, and, all these guys and gals that are in professional sports, they have multiple streams of income as well. So they're doing commercials and they're doing side hustles and everything else, because they know that their knees, their legs, their body is only going to be able to work at that pace for so many years, and they need to create a legacy beyond that. And I think most people need to be thinking in that perspective.
So at what point in your journey did you actually take the financial advisor approach, or more managing funds, managing money, helping people manage money? My dad always told me, because this is one of my dreams, to be honest with you, Martin, is to have a fund where I've created my own fund, basically my assets, blah, 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 and track them, So he said, hey, you got to track them and have like a 10-year performance. But he always told me, because my dad's an accountant, he always said, hey, it's a lot easier to manage your money than to manage other people's money, because in his perspective, it's just harder. You got friends, something happens, you made a mistake on something, and, but tell me about your strategy, because obviously at the end of the day, it works.
Those are wise words, in that, one should learn how to gain the certain disciplines and rituals to manage their own funds, improve themselves that way, whether it's because of the risk involved, or just because it's just prudent to do so, that, you need to prove it to yourself first. And like anything else in sales, marketing, whatever field of business you're talking about, you need to be selling yourself. You need to be building yourself up, inside your own head, before you can go and have that proof of concept, before you can go out and kind of go to the world for capital raising or whatever it is. But I started, very, very early. My parents always had me doing chores when I was a little kid. Nice. When I was 5 years old, I got a bunch of rocks from the front yard and washed them and went door to door selling them.
There you go, baby. That's my style.
Yeah, I was not a good student in kindergarten through 12th grade. So I think probably some folks can relate to that. School didn't captivate my attention. It just wasn't the way I like to learn. I was always thinking about, going to work after school and creating money for myself, which I equated to independence at the time. But it wasn't until 2004, when I was fired from a corporate job, after receiving an MBA, and I just realized that corporate America wasn't for me. All these, everything you've been sold, or a lot of people have been sold up to this point where a company's going to take care of you, is all false.
Right.
And you really have to take care of yourself. But what happens when you go into business ownership, which I know a lot of people, I'm sure listening can understand, who have been through small business ownership, is you get in there and it's anything but freedom, because you're really kind of like a slave to the whole process. You're a slave to just, cash flow, the need to make payroll, the need to scale, and, all these complexities, and you end up working longer hours than if you had a job, and for less pay when you break down the hourly wages. But, for those that can build systems and build themselves out of the business, you can do well. It's just a hard road to hoe. We ended up building a profitable government contracting company that we sold in 2013.
Got you.
However, so I have the background, small business entrepreneurship background, and I understand every difficult situation that one can experience, including making payroll the day of numerous times and paying credit cards with other credit cards. And I mean, You just run down the list.
Right.
It wasn't until I got into real estate in 2009.
Got you. That's a good time to get in right there. Shoot.
Yeah. We bought a lot of commercial. My wife and I bought a lot of commercial and residential property. And, but with landlording, we didn't feel like we've obtained freedom and freedom of time, because you're kind of tied to properties and kind of building
issues, something going down. Hey, Martin, I got my, my AC's out or something, something's going wrong. And then they call you first line of defense there.
Exactly. And then, and then you go ahead, some will say, go out and get property manager. And then, then the property manager is calling you. Right. And then, so you're paying the tenant and the property manager, and so
it doesn't make much sense unless you have. It doesn't make much sense if you're doing, paying someone and just to have to call you at the end of the day because you're the decision maker.
Yeah, where you're approving charges over this amount, and the property managers incentivized to do repairs.
Right.
And we'll just kind of say that.
Right.
But in 2013, I got into mortgage note investing, and it really was a turning point for me, because I started out buying mortgages whereby the homeowners hadn't made a payment in a few years. So this is defaulted mortgage paper. And what I found is that because I bought these at a discount, I could work with the homeowner to keep them in their home with a loan modification that was affordable for them.
Got you. So you take it over and you would make it affordable, or renegotiate the terms and bring down the monthly payment.
Exactly. Bring down the monthly payment, lower the interest rate, extend the terms. I mean, do a bunch of creative things that the banks don't do.
Gotcha.
for compliance and various other bureaucratic reasons. And so I really found a niche in that, building my own hedge fund and portfolio of these mortgages, where I was really being of service to others. And I think that's really the thing, is like compassionate investing. Was really what I hit on there. But yeah, like to your point and your father's point, I first used my own money. I still use my own money. In a heavy way. I'm in on every deal,
right,
that every trade that occurs.
Right.
And so, yeah. So you have to go and just learn the disciplines with your own money and not learn off other people's money. That's for certain.
And I think the big key thing now for the millennials is it doesn't happen quick. Sometimes you do get a quick pop on something, a short squeeze on a stock. A lot of things happen and go up quick, right? And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see an exponential investment. I've seen it quite a few times and then go back down, quite a few times, even within my own portfolio, y'all. And it's an interesting thing, but it's part of patience to over time. The ups and downs, it constantly kind of goes up, and the accumulation of the snowball or your assets basically just continues to grow, for yourself, whether you have $100, $10, 10 million, 10 billion, 10 trillion, the snowball will keep growing. if you put that compound interest, and it's in places where, that are going to get you the return, which you don't know. That's wherever I think right now, everyone's kind of curious where people are going to put the money. You're seeing it in the sports cards. You're seeing it in different industries and collectibles and some of these things that are come out of some new investors. And the fractional sharing where they take a big card and they fractionalize it. But I also think that that's just because there's, some of the stock market stuff, some of the prices. I'm an investor in the stock market. It's high right now across the board. Yeah. And hey, you bring a high interest rate into the stock market, it's going to be a little blood in the streets there for anyone that's doing any phony baloney things with their financing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's to kind of go back to an earlier point, it's I know a lot of people, they kind of get out and they're like, what business should I do? What investment should I make? So they're thinking in terms of the activity when, one should be focused on, what disciplines do I need to have in place? What kind of person do I need to become in order to be successful? And really just place money and emphasis on finding mentors, going to workshops, seminars, reading as many books as you can, and really commit yourself to education. And that's going to help you because, like you mentioned, having patience is important because it's going to be a long road, whichever way you go, whether you're going to be a business owner or you're investing in assets. But I will say one thing that I've found over the course of years as being a professional investor, and that is I'm what I consider myself a cash flow investor. So the asset has to cash flow for me to go and consider it. And I think that's really important, especially in these inflationary times that we're kind of headed in. People need to be focused on, a precious metal coin may be good and may have kind of some long legs to it, but you're not going to use that at the grocery store. It's not going to help you with when meat's doubled in price. And so what's going to help you is more money in your pocket every month. And there's only so many hours in the day. So some of that money has to be passive. And you should be focused on kind of growing that level of passive income over the course of time.
So you see it all the time. It's all about those multiple income streams every time and time again. And I saw a recent article. I think Cody Sanchez. She's a real interesting lady. She's all about the cash flow investments as well. And basically saying most multi-millionaires have 7 to 8 flows of income coming into them. Most multi-millionaires have 7 to 8 income streams. So think about that. Is that a blog? Is that a YouTube? And some of them are big and some of them are small. It doesn't even matter if you have a small income stream, if it comes in consistently, and then that income stream maybe grows over time. I know with our sports card thing, the business was a lot different now than it is. I mean, now it's completely different than it was 10 years ago, and so, it's just one little piece. It's one little piece of the puzzle amongst our social media business being a little bit down because of 19 related issues and things like that being shut down, lockdowns, et cetera. And so it's all about, if we didn't have that, I wouldn't be as strong. So, I mean, most people forget that, but it's all about kind of taking some of that golden goose money and putting it into something else, whether that is in a great fund like yourself, or even in just learning yourself. In the beginning, you have to kind of learn, because I know you guys specifically work with accredited investors. So that means people that have like, is it 2 or 3 million in investments typically, and like 300,000 or 400,000 a month? A year?
The accredited investor is an individual that earns at least 200,000 a year in earned income,
right,
or 300,000 as a married couple. Or they have $1 million in net worth, excluding equity in their home into that equation. So if you're an accredited investor, how we have it set up is people make one simple investment into our fund. It's an evergreen fund, so there's no expiration, and then they receive monthly income for the rest of their life.
Wow.
I mean, so that's it.
And so the size of the investment could be based on the payout that you want.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's how people should be backing into things. It's look, if you say to yourself, I could live off of 180,000 a year annually for the rest of my life.
Right.
Total passive income. Well, for our fund, that's $2 million invested into our fund.
Got you.
Your capital's preserved,
right,
and you're going to receive 180,000 divided by 12. So the next question is, how do you accumulate $2 million to go put into a fund like BQuest? And so this is how you kind of back into the process. and make problems for yourself that are good problems that, if you solve them, and if you only make it to 1.5, like or 1 million, I mean, you've already kind of made it so much further than you may have already made. And then, look at ways you can up your income in your current profession and what you're currently doing. That's kind of the first thing to do.
That's the next thing, is getting that income. And that does come from either getting more expertise, raising your prices, many things you can do to raise your income. And not like, for me, I started a sports car business. We had the Be Real show. It's been going for 9 years. Now it's actually turning into something where not only are there people listening, but people want to come on the show and there's income coming in that. And sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. And the main thing is to remember is to do it every day. So I always tell people, hey, put $100 a week, put $20 a day, $10 a day, $3 a day, whatever you can do to just constantly be learning and saving. And then you're not going to get to work with a professional like, Martin. And there's some people on the line that already have the 2 million and maybe more, but they don't know what to do with it. And then now they need to figure out these solutions. I know, family, we deal with a lot of trust stuff and deal with some big dollars, where these people are making 12 million a month in profit, and these businesses are just cash flowing and they don't know what to do but donate it.
Yes.
Right now, all they're doing is just donating everything else because otherwise it's taxable, everything else. And so these kind of things are also beautiful for these people to learn about because, hey, there's other ways of funds, because a lot of funds, I think, are insecurities, or they lock up the money for a long period and to, have capital raises and calls, and you get money, but then you also have a call for new money. And because I'm not accredited, I'm getting close to accreditation, baby, but
nice.
Very close on my own. But thank you, sir. I got a few more years and and we'll be good. But literally I started doing the unaccredited and I put about 50,000 into startups. Yeah. One of them is doing really, really well. I did all the rounds because I didn't want to get diluted. But in those, you're locked up, and so you're locked up. There's no passive income. It's like writing a blank check. Yes, the outcome could be wonderful. We hear the the Uber stories, and you hear the stories of the companies going public, and it will happen hopefully to one of mine, now RX, hopefully. But for a lot of the rest, it's locked up money, and most likely I'm never getting it back, so.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people, like we talk to investors daily, and we find people in a few different camps. That's the camp like you're talking about where their money's locked up.
Right.
It's a long-term play. It's not yielding any cash flow. So people feel kind of trapped that way. There's also a lot of people that we talk to, they're in the stock market and they're riding this wave, which, is good and bad because we find that so many people are looking for a boring fund like ours, that you put money in and it's predictable and it's going to, spit out X amount of dollars per month into your bank account. And they're looking for something stress-free, because when you're in the stock market and you're kind of tied to your phone, understanding all the volatility, it creates stress in your life. And passive income or active income should not be a stressful event in your life. I mean, there's a million other distractions that will kind of try to eat away at you. And then we also find people just with parked money who are just losing because of inflation.
Oh yeah. If you just got to sit in the bank or sitting in anything that's not earning you anything, a lot of people got their money on the sidelines and have missed the whole run up in the stocks. I mean, the thing's up, one of my accounts, 93%. I just been selling, to be honest with you. I've been taking profits. I have very good discipline to take profits ahead of the storm, baby. And keep cash and keep the powder. And then I also just recycle it. I always constantly thinking about the new things and next, and whether that's been crypto, whether that's been, and people say, oh, you sold too. Hey, you know what? We still hold a little bit. We still sold a little bit. We had some fun along the way. You never know the end of the road on some things. And most importantly, like you said, the stress is there. Takes the stress away. Is there a certain minimum that you have, just so we can kind of pique the interest of obviously people if there's a minimum threshold with you guys? Yeah,
it's 50,000.
Yeah, that's suitable.
So,
what would that do monthly, just so we can kind of pique people's interest on that? Would you mind?
Yeah. So that would be about 4,500 a year, which
about 500, $400, $400 a month. That's not bad. It's a car payment. You put down 50, you get $400.
But the key is like just like with whether you're investing or running a small company, it's about creating the disciplines and adding on to those, adding on to whatever it is you're doing. So you're scaling, right? Whether you're scaling up your business, going after larger clients, better paying clients, how about that? Or you're starting with 50K and then you're striving to put another 50K in 6 months and another 50K.
Yeah, you constantly can do another 50, you know.
Growing it. Yeah.
But at least that lets people know the minimum threshold, because 50,000 is doable. Some people have that sitting in their bank account. Some people have that in the stocks, whatever. And like I always like to tell my dad, take some cream off the latte, baby. 10% at least, you know, you take 10%. It doesn't hurt to take 10% off the latte, you know, when you've had 90% gains in a year on your portfolio. I mean, it's unbelievable. But now, Matt, we're about to take you into our top 10. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
YouTube. Instagram or Facebook?
Neither.
Neither. Chicken or steak?
Steak.
Steak. Laptop or smartphone?
Laptop.
Laptop. Spotify or Pandora?
Neither.
Neither. Movies or video games?
Movies.
Movies. Reading books or listening to books?
Reading books.
Physical. Stocks or
here I'm reading.
Oh, hey, Why Doctors Don't Get Rich. Oh, shit. That's a good book.
And Forward by Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, yeah.
This book's
I love Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Why Doctors Don't Get Rich. I want to see if they have an audio. That's an interesting title.
Yeah.
Because they seem like they make a lot of money, but I know they got lots of loans and they got tons of things in the doctor's world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy. $400,000 in debt before they even start the practice, and then buy a $2 million practice, and you're $2 million in debt, and then you're working your whole life to pay the loans off.
Exactly.
We need to fund those guys. Stocks or real estate, if you're thinking about investing, which is your favorite?
Real estate.
Real estate. And because we all deserve this, vacation time comes and you're going to have to take a vacation. Which would you prefer, oceans or lakes?
Ocean.
Which ocean would you want to go right now? We're on a plane right now.
If I move my camera, that we have
you got a beautiful damn ocean right there.
The Gulf of Mexico is across the street.
Oh, dude, the most beautiful ocean, because it's so damn clear.
Yeah.
Unlike ours out here in California, it's a lot more muddy out here, a lot more darker waters. You got that beautiful white sand. Absolutely, my man. So you're living the dream. So when you're waking up every day, Martin, you're getting yourself ready, you're pumped for the day. Why? You love being you.
Yeah, because I love the rituals I have in place. Every morning I do the same thing. Working out. I actually review my financial statement on a daily basis.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, I go through. I just have a whole host of disciplines, and it's not about like, oh, well, I'm going to see how much money I have. It's just about what I do, so that I can keep it in the forefront of my mind. And there's a lot of people that depend on me payroll wise. We have a whole company. There's a lot of homeowners that rely on our customer service and what we're doing for them. Gotcha. There's a lot of investors that rely on us to be accurate and punctual. And so, I take that very seriously.
That's awesome, dude. You have a lot of people you serve, a lot of different, a marketplace of a lot of different people. And you're doing it successfully, dude. That's awesome, man.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of your ability. That's all we can do, man. Right? That's all we can do. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
We're not AI or robots. We wouldn't want an AI to manage our money. So do you think you'll ever retire from the game of managing money in the fund and stuff like that?
No, because I got a lot of my own money in the fund. So it's kind of like
Hathaway, baby. Let's go to the end. Hey.
So I got my parents are in it, my aunt, it's a family affair. So I enjoy it. It's a whole legacy play. It's something I want to pass down to my children.
Absolutely.
And so that keeps me motivated.
That's awesome. I'm reading an interesting audio book, because I do audio mixed with the physical, The Tao of Charlie Munger.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is incredible. I mean, it's an interesting book because, Berkshire Hathaway, and just an interesting. Berkshire Hathaway would not be the same without Charlie Munger. Would not be the same, dude. Do you have a routine to start your day? What's your practice? What's your practice of method here?
Yeah, Orange Theory.
Orange Theory, nice. Okay, so you get there and they push the hell out of you.
Yeah. Just kick you around and then, take a nice shower. And then, after I kind of get through my day, I enjoy taking a walk down the street and getting a cup of coffee. And that's like a good, nice me time.
I love
and,
that.
And so I enjoy the quietness of the morning. I'm up at 4 a.m. And so I have some time for myself.
I love that. You have to as a dad, right?
Yeah, I got 4 kids, and so I have to have time for me.
I'm trying to learn that right now. I got a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old, and so we're still in the trenches, my man. We're still in the trenches.
Yeah,
my boy's getting sleep trained, so once we get him sleep trained, we'll get all caught back on sleep, and we'll be ready to roll.
Good for you.
Thank you, sir. Do you have a skill you're trying to master right now, Martin? Is there something you're trying to get better at, or just push yourself to learn more?
Yeah, I'm always like working on balance, and so I love what I do work wise, and it's a lot of fun for me. But I always want to make sure I'm balanced with my personal life, and I don't need. In the beginning, for many years, I had to do 100 hours a week of work,
right.
Or nothing, no money was coming in. I wasn't eating, lots of bad things would happen.
And the payroll and the people that count on you, this is, they want Martin to work, baby. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah. I was more of a, workhorse then. I don't have to do that now, but I do. I'm obligated to do that, but I just I gotta take more time, and I just always have to be conscious of that the balance in life.
That's a struggle, and I think a practice for every entrepreneur, right? And a dad as well. Both of those are challenges. Looks like we might have a little unstable. Yeah. We'll get connected back here. Couple last questions for you, my man. If you could sit down and chop it up with anyone in the world, who would you like to sit down and chop it up with?
I have to go with Rich Dad, because that was who got me into the whole game, into the whole mindset. So
wow.
I have to go with Rich Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Mr. Kawasaki. We got to maybe tag him in a post. You never know. He's doing all sorts of stuff, man. Rich Dad Radio. I love him, man. I love hearing him. He's into Bitcoin now. He's into all sorts of different things. I like a guy like that because he also embraces the future. But he still keeps the same mindset of his same traditions, big mindset, but he's willing to kind of take a shot. Unlike some of the Berkshire Hathaway guys, they think it's rat poison or things like that. And I understand that too. I get it. Anyone, you can invest in whatever you want. But I also always tell my dad, dude, the future we don't go backwards.
Yeah.
When we hop on the internet, we don't go, I'm going to choose the internet again. When we get in a Tesla, an electric car, we don't decide, we're going to go back to riding a horse and buggy again. It's like some things we aren't going to go back to, and you have to kind of somewhat embrace the future in every business. Otherwise, you get, Sears, Blockbuster, or any of these favorite brands that you like today might not be here in 10 years.
Sears was the company that fired me.
Really? No shit. 2% of the GDP in the world at one point was going through Sears, one of the most powerful companies in the world. They created the catalog, and they literally could be Walmart, Costco, and Amazon if they had basically always pivoted to the future. People want cheaper, people want the quantity, and then people want online to you fast tomorrow. They could have taken all their resources and we'd be probably still talking about them, Yeah. Instead, they bought Orchard Supply and some dying brands, and I saw some other. Orchard Supply was
merging with Kmart. Yeah, they did a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, and it happened. You see it time and time again because they neglect they think we're going to go back to the past.
Yes,
and they forget that we're in the future in a way. And there's kids that are doing shit that we don't even know about today. So it's constantly changing. And then lastly, my man, has there been a book that has changed your life, or a book that you kind of either reread or just sticks kind of to your soul?
Yeah. So, and I'll say this with humility. I wrote Note Investing Made Easier in 2017. Oh, really? And it's really a how-to book on note investing for people that are aspiring to be note investors. And I was really kind of called to write that book. And it's changed my life, because before I was kind of a closet investor, if you will. Like, nobody really knew me. I was kind of in the weeds doing my own thing. And once the book came, I became of service to other people that I never knew. And there was other people that I encountered that were like, hey, you know what? I'm looking for more in life. I like to do this for me. And so it kind of brought those people into my world, and it's really changed me for the positive.
So note investing made easier. We'll put that in the show notes too. And is there audiobook for that one, or is it just the physical book?
No, audio, Kindle.
There we go, baby. You're gonna get my credit. You're gonna get my credit as well. I'm interested. That's cool, man. I'm very interested as well. Very fascinated about your perspective, your mindset. Love your passion from the beginning, my dude, from the compassion and soul perspective that you're taking in investing. And I think it's very important to give power to those, if you want to call it, through our dollars and some of the things like that, to people that are doing great things. And then also, let's be real. Hey, passive investing and passive income is a wonderful thing. To not have to work harder and to be able to make money is beautiful.
It's mandatory now. I mean, the way the inflationary times are going, rent's going to keep escalating, food, gas, everything is going to go up, and people are going to find themselves left behind more and more, and it's going to get tighter. And then they're going to turn to eating bad food and all these other things that occur as a result of not having money in your pocket. So it is absolutely mandatory that families need to be looking into passive or just additional income in general.
Absolutely. And so if they are interested, where can we send them on the website? Where can we send them to learn more a little bit about the business?
Yeah, bqfunds.com. That's bqfunds.com.
Absolutely. So bqfunds.com, put that in the show notes. Just click there and we'll send you right to the website. My man, Martin, you are an incredible soul, dude. You built a business that is it's chiming, it's going, baby. It's moving. But I always say to all my entrepreneurs, hey, we're still in a world of abundance.
Thank you.
Continue to bless you, continue to bring you more customers. And those that are feeling aligned, please reach out to my man, Martin, on LinkedIn. I think is one of his only social favorite sites on social, but we'll put that in the show notes too. But you've been hanging out with Martin Saenz and Travis Too Tall and Huff. We want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. We're all going through a lot right now. And Real-Time Outsource, my business, is giving back to local and small businesses. Through our social media services and campaigns, we are actually helping small businesses get more exposure during these times, and also when we get through these times. At the end of the day, we don't know how long this is all going to last, but most importantly, you got to think about your business right now and take it seriously. So come check us out at realtimeoutsource.com, and we would love for you to qualify and get the process started where we can take a look at your business and see if we can qualify you for some of our services. At little to no cost for most of the businesses, and some businesses, you're going to have to pay, but that's just part of life, right? But most importantly is that I think this is the time, folks, that you can actually help thrive in your business. And so I would love to help you personally with our team. We're all going through a tough time right now. So take advantage of us. realtimeoutsource.com. Check us out. And we would love to do some business with you and help you with your social and digital media in 2020 and beyond.